Hi, my name is Eric Nelson. I'm a developer on the Ansible Broker project, and I'm going to be showing off our Minishift support. So we have a Minishift add-on that you can use to get Minishift started with an Ansible Broker. And we also have some scripts that'll help you talk to the internal Minishift registry and use the APB tooling. The two projects that you'll need is the Ansible Playbook Bundle and the Minishift add-ons project before you start, and the Minishift binaries as well, obviously. I'll put links for both of these projects in the video description so you can go get them yourself. And then there's also some environmental setup that's required before you start. So the first thing that you'll need to do is actually export Minishift enable experimental. This will allow you to bring up a Minishift cluster with the service catalog. So I'm going to export that into my environment. Second thing you're going to have to do is to set Minishift to deploy OpenShift version v3.7.1. We support 3.7.0 on, so 7.1 is the most recent release for 3.7. So I'm going to do that. And then beyond that, you should be able to actually go ahead and start up Minishift with Minishift start service catalog. Oops, I already got one running. Shift delete. Start service catalog. So it's going to take a little bit for the cluster to come up, but once that's done, we'll come back and get started with getting the broker running. Okay, so I'm here and I have my Origin 371 cluster. So I should be all set to install the template. To install the add-on. So if I come into the Minishift add-ons project, underneath add-ons, you'll see the Ansible Service Broker add-on. So if I do Minishift add-ons, install Ansible Service Broker, that will install the broker. Except now I actually have to apply it to the cluster. It's not actually in use yet. So if you use Minishift add-ons, apply Ansible Service Broker, it's going to create. So what this add-on is actually doing is it's pulling two templates, one of which is our standard deploy template for the broker. So that sets up the broker and all the other assets that's or resources that it requires in the cluster. Second thing it does is it actually will permission the developer user, so you can see that here. It's important to use the developer user instead of the Minishift suggested system admin user, because a system admin user is a sort of a special administrative user that does not have a token, which the APB tools will require. I'm just going to log in as developer. And so you can see Ansible Service Broker project now. So I can actually read that and I can speak to the broker's routes as the user developer. So just gotta load. So now I have a broker up in my cluster and I have access to that via the permissioned developer user. So if you go to the Ansible Playbook Bundle project, we actually have a script for, you can use the APB tools in a number of different ways. It's really just a Python package. We have that packaged up in a container for your convenience. You just have to make sure that you actually use this script that's inside of the Ansible Playbook Bundle project, because it maneuvers some stuff around in your environment to make sure that you can actually communicate from your container to the Minishift registry, which is a couple different network ops in reality. I have a source install, so I'm going to be using that. So let's see, APB version. Oops. So that's version 117. And the other thing that you need to remember to do, and this is very important, is when you're working with Minishift, you have to make sure to actually export the Docker env. So eval Minishift Docker env to set up those variables inside of your environment, so the APB tools can actually speak with Minishift. I'm going to get the VM's IP. Okay, so let's try an APB list. This lists the APBs that are available from the broker right now. So as you can see, there are a number of default ones that I'm pulling down from Docker Hub. I'm going to do a search to show you that NSK is not available, and NSK APB, which is what I'm calling mine. So as a developer, most people have probably seen this, so I won't go too in depth with that, but I got lost. Minishift demo. All right, and then I have my NSK APB. So this is an APB that was created with APB init, and I've prepared it, so I have the APB inside of the Docker file, as well as my apb.yaml. So you can see I called it NSK APB. This is obviously very basic, doesn't really do anything, but it will work for our purposes. So I'm going to do a Docker build. Actually, that's unnecessary. So if I do an APB build, it's going to do a Docker build on this. It's actually not required to do a build first. You can get away with actually pushing it straight away because it'll actually build it as part of the push. So I'm just going to do an APB push. So as you can see, everything's configured to talk to Minishift because I've evaluated the Docker environment. So the APB tool is smart enough to figure that out and tag your images appropriately. Obviously, they need to be specially tagged if they're going to end up in the Minishift registry. So this is important. So looks like it's pushing the image to the Minishift registry. So it may take a little bit. Okay, so we successfully pushed the image, and it looks like we, during an APB push, it will also automatically bootstrap the broker so to make sure that the broker becomes aware of the APB that I just pushed to the Minishift registry, in addition to relisting the service catalog so it becomes available in the UI. So if I do a Apb List and then actually grep for that, this will display. And so you can see that I listed the APBs, and now I have a local registry NSK APB. So that tells me that the broker is aware of it. And just to double check, if you do an OC get cluster service classes, I'm going to dump that to YAML. Grep for NSK. You can see that the service catalog is also aware of it. So that is basically working with Minishift. Feel free to jump in our IRC chat room or email our mailing list if you have any questions. Just one other note too, they aren't quite merged to those to the repos, but they should be soon. So I'll be updating the links. I think that's it. Thank you very much.